when you get up in front of people to speak to them for the first time, or even if you've done it before, and you see all those eyes staring back at you, it can be scary up there. And if you ever felt scared or nervous or bothered up being on stage, you know how I felt many years ago when I first got up to speak to Toastmasters. It was a challenge to get up there, and I thought, I got to find a teacher. I got to find a teacher who's going to help me out. So I asked around, somebody said, well, Tim, I've had this guy, he really helped me a lot with my career. He's a mentor, and maybe he's going to help you. I said, okay, I'll try him out. So we set up a time to meet at a Starbucks, and we sat down and chatted. The guy said, okay, Tim, how can I help you? I said, well, I'm kind of nervous about being up on stage. I get a little bit of anxiety. He said, yeah, Tim, that's a problem. It's a long-term problem. It's going to take a lot of time to work this thing out. But how did it begin? Where did it go back to? And suddenly I started thinking about a time when I was a kid, long time ago, when I got up in front of a class to do an oral book report talking about a book I'd never read. And as this talk went on, and I started making up more and more things about the book, there came this really awkward point where I couldn't make up anything anymore, and I just had nothing to say. And I stood there in front of the the class, and just stared at them. And they all laughed. And I said, well, when I was a kid, I had this problem with Mr. Mentor that I got up in front of a crowd, and I was nervous. And he said, yeah, that can happen. But I'll tell you what, Tim, the next time you're in front of a crowd, whatever happens, just keep this in mind. The audience really wants you to succeed. Can you do that? I said, well, we'll try, Mr. Mentor. So the next time I got up in front of a crowd, I saw all those eyes staring at me. Something in my mind flashed back to that time when I was a kid, and I was standing up in front of a whole class of audience talking about a book I'd never read, and everyone was laughing at me. As I was thinking about that, another thought came into my mind that I know the crowd wants me to succeed, but they're going to be very disappointed because it's not going to happen tonight. Because I'm going down. I'm going down in flames. And it was horrible up there. So afterwards I thought, this just isn't working out. I thought, the guy's good, but he's just not the right teacher for me. So I called him up and said, I'm sorry, this is not going to work out. So I asked around again, and somebody said, well, Tim, I had this guy to help me out in speaking. He was a speech coach. Maybe he could help you. I said, okay. So I met at a different Starbucks. And there the guy said, okay, Tim, how can I help you? I said, well, Mr. Coach, I get a little nervous in front of an audience. I said, yeah, Tim, that happens, but here's what you can do. Keep your hands down, look people in the eye, and use the word you in your speech as much as you can. Can you do that? I said, yeah, Mr. Coach, I'll keep my hands down, look people in the eye, and use the word you as much as I can. So day of my speech, I got up, looked people in the eye, put my hands down, and used the word you as much as I could. Afterwards, I felt fantastic. Wow, that's incredible. So the next time I met at Starbucks, I said, Mr. Coach, it's just amazing. Everything worked out. I mean, he told me what to do, and I just felt great. I was talking to a mentor, and he wasn't helping me. He said, well, Tim, you're talking to a mentor. Well, a mentor is about long-term problems. I mean, coaching is about a short-term problem. So I explained something that maybe you don't know, and it might be helpful. You see, if you've got a long-term problem, you do need a mentor. You need somebody to help you in the long term. It's not like a career or a professor. Something will take a while. It's going to be gradual. You're going to kind of go deep into it. You've got to do a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of preparing for it. That's for the mentor. But if you have something coming up short term, like speaking, you've got to speak next day, next week, next month. You don't have time to go through this huge process. You need answers right then, short targeted answers to give immediate results. And that's where a coach helps out. Once I realized that, I started going to the people who help me out. Long-term problem, go to a mentor. Short-term problem, go to a coach. By getting the right teaching at the right time, it's more confident, more aware, more certain on stage, and in my career, and in all the learning that I did, basically. And you got the same thing happen for you. All you have to know is if you have a long-term problem, in that case, you're going to need a mentor. Short-term, you're going to need a coach. By going to the right teacher, the right time, you'll find that you quickly get the knowledge you want when you need it, how you need it, where you need it. You'll be more confident, more certain of yourself, better presented on stage, be able to do things faster and better, and you'll just feel better and just more comfortable in whatever you do. So always remember, mentor for the long term, coach for the short term.